to be some type of simulation of heaven beyond the physical world that has been in action or been illuminated since creation, but it is not the ultimate reality. So the Hermetic text says that you may think that the Father, right there, let me know it's something, that the Father of all nourishes everything in the universe. This is called, and they call it some form of Zeus, the great Father. They say, but it is not the ultimate reality of all that is to be. The ultimate reality is inner circle in the ground. Now, if you take the earth off of that and stuff, it's inner circle in the ground is nothing but the deepest part of your subconscious mind, the inner world. You see what I'm saying? The inner world. Now, when you die, it's based on your consciousness. You go, it's just this reincarnation cycle, because believe it or not, they're not really getting trapped in that now and stuff. That light can't hold them so many words, although they might go to the light, they are still not being trapped in the reincarnation cycle. They're still ending up in the other world, which is the world of the dead, the kingdom of Osiris, because it is not strong enough to contain those souls. You see what I'm saying? Now, when you do that, so that means the only ones with incarnation is the ones who've been reincarnated for thousands in that cycle. But the rest of the people are going to this particular world. You see what I'm saying? That this particular world that is the world to come. Now, which is the kingdom of Osiris or the kingdom of death. Now, it's set up like a pyramidal structure, and it's all based on your consciousness. So let's say if your family members who were just ignorant, good, dead people, when they go to that particular realm, they'll be amongst all kind of family members, and that's probably what you're seeing when you see the light. They'll be amongst all kind of family members, and that's a form of, and that's cool for right now. But then there's the next level. There will be the realm of people that have a little more consciousness. And then the highest levels will be the ones that will be ones with the God. So let's take me and what I'm dealing with. I have been in this thing long enough until my first 10 years was this whole aspect of being a part of the knowledge, the gnosis, and figuring out, you see, figuring out all of this, or recalling all of this. My soul trying to figure out what it is to be that of a soul. The last 5 years, I have entered into a court where I'm one with the God. There is no difference than me and the God. As a matter of fact, through some of the women and the woman I'm with now, I have had sex with literally Lakshmi last week. I have had sex with Razuli. I had sex with her in 2002. And other cosmic beings, so in so many words, the only difference is I am annexed in this physical world, but I'm one with God. So let's just say if I was to transcend right now, I would be in a higher heaven, in a higher heaven. I would be at the ultimate pinnacle of that. And then right up under there would be a group of people that's enlightened, that have a certain amount of knowledge. And up under that would be the dead motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? So it's a principality in that world. Now, ultimately, this is not a thing where all the souls have to wake up. We got to wait down here. So this will be a million years. Because the dumbest motherfucking niggas are. Right. And we 4 or 5 people that's enlightened, just do that. We are only opening the doorways that ultimately those entities won't even have to do that work. We're doing that work for them. So each one of us have representatives, and we are learning and trying to contemplate what is this? What is this journey? What am I doing? All the stuff you're going through, you got about maybe 1,000 people connected with you that don't have to do this because you were the representative doing it. Not like sometimes if somebody died way out in California and you ain't got enough money to send the whole family, you send a representative of the family. So we are representative of so many hundreds of dead folks in the aspect of, when I'm saying dead folks, I'm not talking about the physical dead folks, I'm talking about people that's asleep is a good word for it. The people that's asleep. You see what I'm saying and all? The people that's plugged in. You see, so now on one aspect here, what we talk about here is, but and the ultimate reality is we have done this work and we're doing this work, and the ultimate reality through our initiation, we are actually bringing about a world where everybody at once, in a twinkling of an eye, it says in the Bible, will be at this one state. You see what I'm saying? Or this one level of the Trinity's cosmic beings. How many souls there are down here? Obviously, there are more people down here than there is souls. You talk about the original ones. But since we are the original people, we don't really have to worry about that. And for whatever reason, people got down here, whatever type thing, they got to worry about that now. But the point about it here is, we're doing the work for them so they don't have to take another 1,000 years of initiation to get where we are. You understand what I'm saying? Because ultimately, it'll still be one mind. It's like the Borg. You know, when they're assimilating shit, everybody motherfucker think alike. And these individuals down here trapped in the system, they don't really like that. You know, Captain Kirk and them is white boys and shit like that. They don't understand the concept of one mind and stuff like that, but we have cultures. And it's not the same as somebody being these drone followers. We are individuals, but we're still a part of a collective. You see what I'm saying? So we are individuals because we are creative beings. That's what melanin does, it creates. Never stops moving, but we still have a general collective. You see what I'm saying? A general collective. So that's whatever the deal is.
Yeah, that's shit. That's some very hot shit.
You know, you go back and decipher the shit.
Yeah. So the next question is, you're covering so much. I don't want to, repeat some of the stuff you covered, but we'll try to add some of them in a different perspective.
Yeah.
Before you get that question, something that you said on before I want to ask. Literally, these past 5 years, you've been having a little sex with Lashman.
Oh, yeah, and the other entities, yeah.
And that quickening, can I call it quickening? Is that not you, just like you mentioned, it goes being snatched out of your body so fast, where you're not looking in retrospect back on your life, and you can interface with some of your family members and like, damn, ain't nobody peeling to the real me. You can see it. And that's
that realm is just anybody that's in the consciousness. Yeah. That just comes with enlightenment, period. What I'm talking about here, because that's what happened the first 10 years.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? What I'm talking about here is being so much in the realm of the gods and dealing in so many words, even people who wrong me now, all of a sudden now, is no different as them wronging a certain God. And unfortunately, it's to the point where for them is a lot of times I don't know nothing about it. It's just the motherfuckers just get dealt with. And I find out later. You know, like one guy, I was messing with this woman. I was messing with this woman a couple of years ago. And she wanted to move in my house. So it was on my birthday. We laying in the bed together. She said, "You gonna clean out that room?" So I didn't want to spoil my birthday.
Right.
By saying, "Hell no, motherfucker, you ain't getting up in my house." I said, yeah, babe, I'm gonna clean out the room. I'm gonna start Monday. Just to make the birthday go right. This was my birthday of 2003, November 28, 2003. I said, you know, she said, I want to move down. She got the son, I want to set up with business or whatever. I said, yeah, baby, you know, tell them what the hell they want. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the art of lying is a tool. 7 liberal arts is a mystery school. I don't know what they call it. They do it in court all the time, but they call it the art of rhetoric or persuasion or manipulation. So anyway, I said, yeah, baby, you know, I clean out the room and all this. So that Monday when she got back to her home, because she was from out of state, she said, you gonna clean out the room? I said, no, I ain't gonna clean out no room. She said, but you said, I said, I lied. Well, why you do? I said, keep your birthday going on. I want to grab my damn party. But I had no intention on doing it and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And all, and you know, and for some women, they can't grasp the concept that they can be lied to just as much as the person you were scratching their head and stuff. It was a tool to me. So meanwhile, there was another guy that was in love with her. And he wanted her to move in his house. And she called him up crying about how I wouldn't let her move in my house. And he would start player hating on me. And he said, I'm going to go over there and kill this nigga and all, and I'm going to go and fuck this nigga up. Now, meanwhile, I don't know nothing about this. I'm hearing about this a month later. Because this nigga now, the name certain director, he's laying up in the hospital with 2 collapsed lungs. And I get a phone call because some psychic sister told this girl, you need to go call Bobby and tell him to try to stop what's going on for these instances of demons is fucking his boy up. So they called me up and I told her they're British. I'm like, what? Who? What? What you talking about? So she has to recall the story on how she was upset that I wouldn't let her move in my house. And so she called this other nigga who wanted her to move in, and he was in love with her, and he started playing hating on me. And as a result, it set up a motherfucking retribution or welfare or something, a confrontation with some deities was going to his ass and I knew nothing about it. Right. But in that particular realm, in so many words, I was one with them. So him talking shit about me was the same as him talking shit about them. Right. And they went to this nigga ass and I didn't know nothing about it. It was a month later. Right, you're it. So in so many words, that's the realm we talking about here. The only difference here is I'm just annexed or an invoice to the physical. You see what I'm saying? But I'm actually in both worlds and stuff like that and all. You see, so that's so there's different levels. You know, different levels of protocol, different things based on where you are in your consciousness. Now, obviously, all the conscious people right now at a certain lofty height. Look at him, look at all the dead motherfuckers. Right. So that means you got to be, if not at the tip of the pyramid, you got to be somewhere in the upper room because everybody is so dead. So there's different levels of this particular realm. But ultimately, it's going to merge into all one because we're all doing the work. You see what I'm saying? We're all doing the work. You see. So we're all students, or they say we're all becoming. You see what I'm saying? That particular aspect. Yeah, so that's pretty much how that particular aspect is. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, 10 years prior to that, I was in this struggle of obtaining this particular information. And it was just like one person used to say, man, you know, one sister said, shit, I went home for Christmas to Chicago. And I said, she said, it was a motherfucker, man. She said, it was almost like I had to take all this knowledge I have and suspend it, put it in a box, put it in a bag, and put it away to go amongst them dead folks. She said, it damn near killed me because you can't ever mention nothing to them about none of this shit. And she said, here it is, I'm in a whole nother world of enlightenment. Even trying to figure shit out is a form of enlightenment. See, when you find out that in actuality, you go into the pot of gold is a journey. And if you don't have the enthusiasm of trying to just figure it out, you've lost the game. The game is not necessarily to on the other side, the game is just being enthusiastic enough to just figure the shit out. That sincerity is your potential. You should get a high on trying to decode it all.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You know, and in so many words, that is the journey. That is the completion of it all. So we are already there. We're just trying to remember. Connect the dots and put the puzzle back together. But just to be conscious of putting the puzzle back together is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? It's no different than you putting the puzzle together. You trying to find out what piece that match this green and this blue and all this kind of thing here. And you saying, man, I got a long way to go. I'm not there. But look at this little baby that's got the puzzle in their hand and they ain't trying to put it together. They trying to eat the motherfucker.
Right.
At least you're trying to assemble it. So however you've already won the game. This person is trying to eat it. You say, get that shit out your mouth. So that's the people that we call the dead folks. And that's the same thing what the agent was saying when he had Lawrence Fishburne locked up in the first meeting. He looked out the window and said, you gotta marvel at it. All these people getting on with their everyday life, totally oblivious. And I'm looking at that saying, God knows, we live in the black community. We see this shit every hour. So we are actually already there. You see what I'm saying on that particular level. You know, and my point here is because it don't have to be a struggle. Right? When I did it, I had to damn near do it by myself. Now, but I realized one thing about it in retrospect, I was having fun doing it. So in so many words, this should be fun. It should be exciting. Right. You see what I'm saying? It should be exciting. Like people would else say, you should expect more things to happen in you. Any experience you have, you should look forward to that day. Even saying, was that experience? You know, sometimes you have to ask yourself, was that a fucking moment? Was that a spiritual experience? And the more and more you look forward to those things happening, the more and more they become commonplace. Where it comes every hour. Even when shit fuck up, you go. You be cursing and stuff saying, damn, I missed that bus, I missed that train, I missed that person that was coming over. And then about an hour later, something will happen. You go, oh shit, had I known, I wouldn't have been able to do this. I wouldn't have been able to do that. And you find out the whole time, the shit was lining up for you. You see what I'm saying? And that's one thing what was going on right now with the white boy in his time. And they had a group of white people. I got the DVD, and the guy was saying, you know, you people, y'all like the Nazis. You so rigid with the time, the stuff and shit. You see what I'm saying? Until when this time starts to collapsing, you don't know what to do because it's not on your schedule. It's not what you trained for. And as a result, and so they said, what you gonna have to do? So the white people in the audience this guy was talking to, he told me this time speeding up. He said, what you gonna do? They said, well, he said, well, you're gonna have to be like the sports figures. Whenever, although you're looking at the time and you're getting the damn, you know, sometimes if you want to watch the basketball or football, and it can be very frustrating. You know, the clock running out, and you're looking at the time, and these motherfuckers got to do the thing. They got the ball or they got whatever, and you go, oh shit, you sweating? And they get it, and they make the perfect play. And the guy said, how do they do it? Because they're in the zone. They got into the zone. That means that is an opportunity to mention that the team is going into this outside of your time. And that's how they make the play. And the only person that freezes on that court is the person that didn't go with the rest of the damn team. You see what I'm saying? Didn't go with the rest of the team. So that's what you got to do. You got to get into the zone. You see? So they got a rigid culture. Everything got to be timed because they're not spiritual. So everything has to be calculated. Precisely this. Oh, do we want to do sex tonight? Put you down for an appointment. We want to do lunch? You understand what I'm saying? Whereas it was even talking about the Nazis. that was that rigid, like that. They said it went down to Mussolini to the motherfuckers down in Italy. In Italy. And they went down to Italy. They went down to Italy, and Mussolini group of people, you know, the Italians, they are more of a tropical people, half of them niggers. And they said they were trying to copy the Germans, and the motherfuckers was about to die. They couldn't do it. It's just a matter of culture. You see what I'm saying? Of stuff like that, no. But that wasn't, well, see, that's the calculation of the Germans, whereas our stuff is a little more, it's a zone that we have to get into and stuff. So that has a lot to do. I don't know what that was wrong, but it had to be put on there. Yeah, so yeah.
All right. All right. Yeah. So it's something that I guess it leads us to something that I heard a lot of even other lecturers speak about in this depth, right? And that we encourage you, which is karma. Yeah. How does karma come into this whole scenario?
Okay. Two kind of karmas. The karma that most people are aware of, I just pass it. Most people are aware of. The karma that most people are aware of is a much more personal concept or an individual concept that's blown out of proportion.
Okay.
Now, obviously, it can't be no universal thing because the white boy, they had witnessed, because if there was anything such as karma, he should have been off the planet.
Right.
They have violated every damn law that lets you know that obviously, obviously, this word, this thing that you call karma, doesn't apply. He didn't say, look, I have done everything on this planet in which you can say the word karma, which is nothing but the East Indian word for sin. You see what I'm saying? I've done everything that has violated every law known to man that I should have been off this motherfucker. It was based on you reap what you sow.
Right.
Well, the karma must love him, so they sure got a long time coming when they come to him. This is the problem. The karma that it was talking about had two aspects to it. It was an individual thing that you create in your own self based on your heart. You see what I'm saying? And it has the interaction with your soul and its relationship to the world around it and how you create your own reality based on what you do, a series of things that you do that lines up with your soul and where your soul is. You understand where I'm coming from? But this whole concept, so they took an individual concept of you mastering your own domain and turned it into a universal concept that if I step on this root, I'm going to have karma. So they made it a so what happened is you got to understand the difference here. By the time it gets to the Buddhists or the Tibetans, they're separated from the original Vedic system by thousands and thousands of years. And although it can be 2,000-3,000 years ago that these concepts got blown away, it's still a late concept and a degraded concept compared to the original inception of this shit. And so we're looking back to something that's 2,000 years old and going, well, it must be the truth because it's old. No, that's young. It might be old to you, but compared to the original concept, it was separated down in 10,000 years. So that means it's a degraded form that got out of hand and stuff. So by the time the Buddhists come, they're separated from the original concept down there 10,000 years. Because the original ones is Cushite to come out of Ethiopia. But even when they settled that particular land of Indians, it was thousands and thousands of years before the time you get the Buddhist concept. Which is nothing but their form of fundamentalism, moralism. So they took this individual concept of something highly metaphysical, the cause and effect of your own self, and put it on this shit as a universal thing of karma like sin. And the shit is fake. It doesn't exist.
Thank you.
And it only exists on the individual level. You make that. But on the other hand, if you are aware of it and simply understand that you have the choice to say there ain't no karma, and by you being the God of that, guess what? The cause and effect don't apply to you. You can kill who the hell you want.
Yeah, that's right.
It's all based on what you're programmed to do. Now, if you're programmed that this thing is going to be detrimental to you, and guess what? Your soul and your subconscious mind acts upon it, and so therefore, you are sin. You have this karma on you. But if you don't have those particular concepts, because you know the higher truth, then your understanding and actuality don't apply to you. So in so many words, going back, there's this demiurge crew that run a room with a tight fit. And what they have done is they've gone in and they have lied. Now I know this for a fact. I have had, based on channels, entities come and tell me flat out lies. That's why one thing that you should do when you channel, number one, you should pick a deity that is on your corner. And you should always ask that deity. You should never ask the question in a channel or a psychic phenomenon with a deity that you don't know. Just put it out there. Because it can be thousands of entities that will come down. Some of them, your enemies, to tell you a lie, tell you away. One sister was excellent, psychic. She said, oh, no, I just asked the universe. I'm like, you damn fool. You know how many motherfucking idiots is in the universe and thugs and cutthroats? Motherfuckers that you can't find in the universe because they don't have a physical body, they still can communicate with you. So don't worry about it. Hey, we know it. It's the knowledge, not, and if a person that superficially, this chair is more important than the energy and the stuff that we give it out. They're really not there yet. So that's a checkpoint to see, whether you there or not. So, and I said, when you crazy, you have to pick a specific deity or a principality, what side that lines up with your soul, because you got people that lie to you. And so therefore some of these concepts get muddled, and it's in this information that was wrong channeled because there were some deities that want to put a group of people on lockdown. And then all of a sudden karma becomes just like sin. You step on a rope and you in trouble. In that particular case, just like the sin, why even be down here? Because everything you do is wrong. But then again, these same people understood Maya and understood that if this was an illusion, how could karma apply any damn way? In an illusion, something that's not real. And the only reality is what your subconscious mind makes reality for you. And it's a series of programs. It's no different when Neil was jumping off the building and he fell, when he fell and bounced and hit it and splattered on the thing. The problem was, is in his mind, he was programmed to when you fall, you're going to get hurt. So when he fell, you see what I'm saying? That's what happened. It was only when he could program his mind to say this is only an illusion that he was able to fly by the next move. And it was the same thing what happened when the guy said, he said, why did I beat you? He said, you better than me. He said, do you think the surroundings have anything to do? He said, you don't understand. Your problem is not in your technique. It is in your mind. You think that's air you breathing? I can free you. I can take you to the door, but I can't free you. Well, it's the same concept with this particular karma. It's something that was created to trap you mentally, and you're trapped in it, and guess what? You create that karma because you're training that this, I done something wrong and I gotta pay for it. And so your spirit be like, okay, you gotta pay for it. Why? You say, well, I gotta pay for it. The motherfucker, you are the one that's creating it. You're the power to go first. You want me to kick your ass up, and that's what's gonna happen. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm only following you. So if you want to be programmed to be free from this shit, you're programmed in some stuff to say that don't apply to me. And you know what? I've been dealing because I can say this because I've been dealing with the spirit world. And I'm talking about advanced spirits, because I'm fucking them.
That's right.
They have never came to me and said, Bobby, you shouldn't drink that liquor. Bobby, you shouldn't curse. You know what I'm saying? Bobby, you shouldn't curse. You know what I'm saying? Bobby, you shouldn't talk behind that person's back like that.
You shouldn't eat that fried food.
Well, yeah, see, the fried food, they will never say something on that particular level. But then again, on the other hand, some daddy. But that's moralism. Now, on the other hand, on the physical realm, you could eat some shit to get your, some shit to start rumbling in your ass a couple of hours later. That's just a physical aspect. But then again, well, you created that. You could either eat it, or you can drink from the elixir, tell them they'll handle that. And something like that, or something like that. And that's in your mind. It's like the sister Linda that I'm with now, she used to say, she said, sometimes I didn't even have money to go get all these vitamins. So I had to program my mind that this shit was not going to hurt me. And as a result, she said, I don't take no medicine and all that shit, because even that is a goddamn hope.
Right. You're going to change.
I say goddamn.
You got to do it before you eat it.
Right.
So if you put it up in there and it might be the wrong shit and you ain't aware of it. Okay, right. You on? You gotta do it. So it's like magic. I have physically get said, this is not gonna bother me. I have sent a message to my body and I eat the shit. And then sometimes I was eating some shit like that and didn't do the magic on it and damn near killed myself. You see what I'm saying? Damn near killed myself and all. It's all about the level of consciousness in your mind.
You got an example of that? Like eating something, getting warnings about food and eating something.
Look, I'm gonna tell you, so I'll tell you this particular part right now. Let me tell you this particular thing. I'll tell you what happened to me yesterday, but I'll tell you this particular thing about Linda, the sister I'm with now, Babylonia. She used to, from the time we met, she said, you can't be doing like I do. And I said, well, she said, I'm poison. She said, you seen the character on the last Batman movie? Poison Ivy? She said, I can do that kind of shit. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm on that level. Well, we know this can happen even in the country when the Aborigines, you live outside. They'll tell if they see a bug on the baby's food, they'll let the baby eat the little tick out of the bug because they're getting the body immune to the environment. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the same thing mentally. You see what I'm saying? She said, don't do what I do because I'm poison. I can do these things. You see what I'm saying? And it's a form of a mindset. Now let me explain what happened as far as this thing here, as far as being warned about something, you gotta look out for some things. So,
and what's the esoteric meaning?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me give you the context. All this stuff is you're still in battles with forces. Before prior to coming to before I came to New York, what happened was I got a call from California. And a sister said, be careful what you eat when you go to New York. She said she was getting fish. Linda, about 2 days before she went, I cleaned out real good. Cleaned out a lot. Because what happened when the dog was locked up. You see what I'm saying? And I cleaned out a lot. So say, you better clean. So I cleaned out. She said, whatever you do when you get there, don't eat no beef. Eat no beef. Which is two things that's going on. Number one, it was a channel on one level. For one thing, I'll tell you that in a minute. Yeah. So don't eat no beef. And what it was is she was getting this thing that the demiurge, whatever the information I was going to give with the tsunami, the Congolese riots, or whatever the thing, the demiurge at this particular point, they on their last leg, and so they're going to try to block shit. Even down to the videotape in the lecture. So she said, don't eat no beef. So I made it clear one day and so I went over that little shop across the street. And I was looking at stuff, and they had some lasagna up in there, and they had some broccoli. I got some broccoli, I got some lasagna, and I got some rice with vegetable and rice type thing. And I was eating, and right before, and it was fine, and right before I was supposed to go home, I poured libation, and my stomach started killing me. And that's when he said, "We're gonna take a break." And I was saying, "Thank God." And I'm saying, "What?" And I told the sister to bring me back a ginger ale. I might need the book. The Spirit said, "No, you need to go eliminate, or you got to do something right now." She said, "Because whatever you done ate, it was an attack." And I thought about it. I said, "Oh my God, at the bottom of the lasagna is ground beef." He told me not to eat the beef. What it was is the demiurge needed something of a low level to go into so they can attack me. And so I had to go up on the second floor, go in there, and I know how to bend over, drink 2 glasses of water, and bend over, and there's a pump that cuts on, and you vomit it out. Now it's a development, it's a chakra. I didn't know what was. I didn't know what it was when I was a vegetarian. When I was a vegetarian, I used to eat that fucking tofu.
Yeah, that's shit.
I started throwing up. I would eat it fried, hard like chicken. And that was just pure plastic. And I started throwing up, and as a result, when I was throwing up, my third eye started pulsating. And I said to myself, "Wait a minute, there's something to this." I didn't know until about 4 years later, so that was 96, when this thing started happening. It was in 98 when C. Freeman L. was sitting around, using the L of metaphysical, and he said, we was talking about something. I said, "Man, I had to throw up last night." He said, "Throwing up is good." He said, "There's nozzles up under there, and you can develop that nozzle, and it's like a chakra, and it opens up." And a lot of spiritual people, like the guy Juju, she said, when something ain't right, he can throw up at the entrance. Some people gotta stick their fingers. So I developed this nozzle. I drink 2 glasses of water. When I bend over, it cuts on this nozzle, and I throw up. But when I was throwing up, I went to another level. I was like, my third eye was pulsating. So now, I went upstairs and I threw up whatever it was. And I got it out of me, went back and cleared my stuff out with the ginger ale and stuff, and I was fine. I was fine, and they were trying to attack me, but they had already called 2 days before, and I slipped. But what it was is I didn't register. Now the other thing was they were trying to send a message just because 2 things happened. One was the attack from the demiurge who was going to try to attack me in the election. The other one was a message to tell motherfuckers that this particular time you can't be fucking with no beef because they get ready to run this mad cow shit on America. They're going to fuck motherfuckers up. Because they got the shit in Canada. They announced 2 weeks ago that it's in Canada. So in so many words and stuff, it was interesting here because some brother came by and they left 2 frozen steaks on our door. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" Some guy, one of my friends. Right. And Linda looked at that shit. She said, "I ain't eating that shit." I said, "But they're hard as a brick. Ain't nothing. It's not like they spoil or nothing." But she was channeling. "Hey, man, that shit is out now because it might not have nothing to do with those things, but it has something to do with a message. They're getting ready to run this mad cow shit on the niggas here now because they got to stop motherfuckers." And like you just said, they said what? Hamburger has 1,000
different calories based upon the White Boy movie, Super Size Me.
It has 1,000.
The fact that they let that movie out is a warning. About
1,000 different cows in one hamburger.
One hamburger has 1,000 different calories.
And the whole reason, and with this crap here, so how they got down mad cows, what they do? They started feeding the cows, dead cows in their feed. And bones and shit and feces. You see what I'm saying? And the feces. So your spirit will give you a warning on doing some stuff like that. And the other thing here is your mind. So my point is, there is a way, yes, you do have to be mindful of what you eat. But then again, on the other hand, you can't read every box in America. Some things you're going to have to go to another level to give an example of my brother. My brother is the super vegan. They don't eat nothing but berries and nuts and grains and berries and twigs. We don't know what they eat. Berries. I don't know what they eat. And that nigga ate some rice one day and almost died. And what was the metaphysical thing about it? He had programmed in his mind that 98% of everything on the earth was going to be detrimental to him. Until it was not the actual food. And this the nigga used to lick ketchup off the goddamn street when we were young. I seen that nigga lick some ketchup off the street. So I know it's the psychological thing. Nigga used to be their father's best friend. You know? I mean, we used to piss in Mountain Dew bottles and say, hey, mama brought you a Mountain Dew, give a motherfucker the bottle.
You're in therapy.
The nigga to drink the piss. Take the bottle, put it in the freezer, get the frost on it, go pee in it, and open his mouth, we open and give a nigga a cold Mountain Dew in this piss. We used to do shit like that. We was notorious. The three of us, we was notorious when we were young with that kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to say, I said, wait a minute, man. And so he had programmed his mind that everything was wrong until a woman went in the house and painted her fingernails. He would break out in hives. And I said, look, man, you're going into that zone, man, and it's all based on your mind. So on one aspect, yes, you're supposed to be mindful what you eat because you know you motherfuckers got poison and shit out here. You see what I'm saying? And all, but then again, on the other thing, you got to condition your mind because all this stuff, as you think, so are you. You know, as you think, so are you. And that's how the whole thing is, you see. So that's one particular one. Give me some, what's that?
Like, at the lecture yesterday, you was talking to me about me getting my food from this Mexican joint.
Yeah, that's the one I ate at. That's the one that picked me up.
That's what he was saying. That's what he was saying. But I had some food from there, and he was telling me about it during the lecture, and I was like, you know, I'm God, man. My mind, I already pre-programmed myself. Usually, I always carry some stuff out of the house. That's like I did before I go anywhere.
Yeah.
So when I bought the food, my whole mindset was, yo, this may be poison. So
yeah, well, that's the concept. If you don't slip, you know, you can do. But at this particular thing, I was pre-warned not to eat the beef.
Right.
So sometimes you'll get a warning that there's going to be an attack through this. It can come several ways. You see what I'm saying? And sure enough, but luckily I had developed the experience, developed the knowledge on how to throw up that wheel in a couple of seconds. You know, otherwise I'd have been fucked up. Because it was straight up food poisoning, because my stomach wasn't settled until I had to go to, and I came back in and had to throw up again just to eliminate food so that they could work on me that night. And I stripped it, took their elixir, and they worked through the night and got my shit up to code. Yeah. You see. Yeah. So give me some, what's the question? Yeah.
So the next one, I guess when you go to this is, where do white people go when they die?
Okay, it's interesting because, okay, you got two aspects. You got those white folks that in their gene pool, there's a black element, so that means they have a soul. So we're talking about the hybrid that doesn't have a soul. You see what I'm saying? Where do they go? Well, obviously, they go to a form of the astral plane. They don't go where our ancestors go, and I know this even in astral travel. One brother about 10 years ago was astral traveling. He said he left his body and he went to the astral plane. And he said he was in a room full of white folks. He said, oh shit, what the fuck? He said, and then after a while, a black figure stepped through the dimension of the white folks and grabbed his hand and pulled him into a whole other world of black folks. So obviously there's two worlds. And the reason why we know that because if you get books like the Theosophical Society used to put out these little books called, you can get up at the Quest bookstore, which is a Theosophical Society's bookstore. And they got some little books called Astral Plane, Devashanic Plane, Buddhic Plane. And they talk about all this type of stuff. And when you start reading, you'll find out that they are low planes and they are on the subplanes of our lowest plane. Even though we're caught in the matrix, which is all planes and all illusionary phenomena, they're on the subplane of our lower plane. So in so many words, they're on a semi-animal plane, because remember, the ones that was created as a hybrid have animal parts. Like they say, it was created with all kind of shit. It was a lab experiment. We're talking about the ones that was created and grafted. So they're on animal planes and stuff. When we know this and stuff, two things for how we know this. We know this when black people come in contact with white folks and start schooling white folks. And this is when you know. I had a friend, he said he was in the Nation of Islam. And he said he sold the most amount of tickets a nigga could sell from Nurse Louis Farrakhan when he came down to Atlanta. So they were like, oh brother, this is so divine. You sold all these tickets. It's great. What do you want, brother? He said, well, I want a whole pair of fucking gators to do it. See, they gotta be sharp out there. He said, all I want to do is meet the minister, shake his hand. Oh no, brother, you can't do that. Because there's a hierarchy. You know, that bullshit in the aspect of, hey, since when did you get to the point where this brother is, he's supposed to be one nation, he can't shake the man's hand? That's when you get into that elitism, and that's that whole cult thing. He said, oh, fuck that. You mean to tell me I done sold 1,000 tickets and I can't shake the man's hand? You can't get me close to the man to shake his hand? Oh, no, brother, we can't do that, man. He said, so he waited until halftime till the minister got on the stage, and he said he walked out and got in his car and left. Never went back. That's one aspect. He said he started fucking with this white girl after that because he was disenfranchised. And he said he's screwing a lot of them, but he was screwing with this white girl. He said he's fucked with her about 6 months, 6 weeks. 6 weeks, and 6 to 8 weeks, he said. He said in that whole time that he was messing with her, he was always sick. So obviously, sleeping with her put him in, because we're talking about astral planes and different levels, and it put him on a very low plane. Now you know that right now. It's not like eating pork or something when you done ate some shit that's very low and fucked up food, or some type of chemical shit. You ever ate something that's chemical and the shit ain't even real, and you go around the whole day and you can't get this shit off of you. You see what I'm saying? Well, it was the same thing. He was always sick. Now what happens here is, we know this happens to this. To give you an example, I'll give you one example. You got the girl, they already know. Tiger Woods, he won the Masters in '97. They went and got that nigga a coat from behind the chair on the floor. They put his shit on the floor and gave him his jacket from behind the chair on the floor. The next year, he changed up the golf courses on him. Took him about a year to get back right, but when he got his game at that nigga won the fucking British Open, the US Open, he won all these Open. He just totally obliterated the game. So, for 2 years at the Masters, they poisoned him. They poisoned him this year, and they poisoned him the year before last. And the nigga's so dumb and stupid, he ate a sandwich both years out of the commissary there and got sick. They poisoned the nigga. So, they said, we got the ultimate trick for you. That nigga ain't been winning ultimately because he got that white woman. And it's taking him to a lower level. The Serena and Venus, they ain't winning now because they got them white. boys. Now I know this for a fact. 10 years ago, this was 11 years, summer of 1994. My brother went to these people down in South Carolina. They was in the Europe and they did a lot of reading and stuff. And the people told him, said something about the male members in your family that's passed on. You got to do something with them. And so he said, okay, well, whatever. He didn't pay it no attention. So about 2 months later, I was getting this reading and one of the sisters like saying, look, something about a male member in your family. I said, well, narrow the shit down. Anyway, it was my father that needed help. To get to a higher plane. Now, my father died in 1970, just like the Osiris thing. My mother had 3 of us, 60, 61. I was the middle in 62. And she hauled us back to South Carolina. They had a disagreement or whatever. She hauled us back to South Carolina and started teaching school and left him out there. They were married or whatever, left him out there. So in the course of that, you know, he was doing what he was doing out in California. And at the end of the 60s, he hooked up with this white woman. He had a best friend. They got together, and him and the white woman conspired with each other against him, and they killed his ass and threw him in the river, just like the Osiris shit. Experts swimming, all that shit. Okay. That was 1970, so this would be 1994, which would be 24 years. This Negro called us to help him, and me and my 2 brothers and my mama had to build an altar, certain altars, to lift this nigga up, because this nigga was trapped on a very low plane, a subplane, because he was fucking with that damn beast. Before he died, he was trapped down there on some animal plane, on some low-ass plane, and we had to get that motherfucker up off that plane. Now, I'm talking about through experience. Right. Fucking with white folks. Fucking with that white girl. So before he died, fucking around with this white girl. And he was trapped down there for 24 years on a low plane. Outside of our plane, some low-ass plane was just, who knows what that, some of that crumple puff was made out of. Now, what is he experiencing on this lower plane? He was in some type of hell. Some type of loneliness, animal, whatever. But it was unnatural to him. And we had to do something. And when we combined the 4 altars together, we got him up out of there. So I do know there's certain lowest levels of our subplanes. You see what I'm saying? We talking about something that is not even a people. It's some type of android. You see what I'm saying? The 2 right. You see what I'm saying? Like that now. You know, now, you know, like I said, now they got what they say, 2% to 3%